All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out the Rich Celenza Show. So, what I think I'm going to call this podcast is Looking for Approval. And I've been thinking about this for a long time, how a lot of us do things because we want others to approve of it instead of doing things that we truly want to do. And I am definitely a victim of that, I think, throughout the years, because a lot of things that I did, I wanted, friends, family members, colleagues, a lot of them to approve of what I was doing. But what was very interesting on the flip side was then I would feel like I don't give a fuck about what anyone else thinks. And it was extreme. Even when I made my first movie, everybody's like, oh, you got 2 kids and you're having one with health issues. You're going to go now start making movies? I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Some people were obviously behind me, and other people were like, no, now's the time. You have to start another career, and you have to start this, or you got to start a business. This is the time, and I didn't want to do that. Whatever the reasons being at that point in time, that's what I felt like doing. So I'm kind of like extreme on both ends. But I also knew on the other hand, because I knew my mother and father loved entertainment, right? But what was interesting is my ex-wife didn't love like the film industry, like me really necessarily making a movie or whatever. She didn't care either way, I should say. That's not fair. She was behind me no matter what I wanted to do. But, just a lot of, I knew if I succeeded in that, I would definitely get a lot of approval, right? Because a lot of my friends and family members, again, we all love the movies. A lot of my family members are still in the television industry, I should say, even. Actually, I was just on a call with my cousin. She FaceTimed me. She was on a set, I think, of Chicago, one of the Chicago shows. I don't know if it's PD, Fire. I don't know which one it was. But not that I grew up in the film and television industry. I more or less grew up in the fashion kind of industry along with the painting industry, but I did have family members inside of the film and television industry inside Chicago. But I knew if, at the end of the day, if I succeeded, there would be a high level of approval for me, right? It would be like, I just felt that way. I also knew it would give me a lot of attention, and I also thought it'd be fun for a lot of other people to get involved with. And going to events, you're making movies, I would use them as extras, and everyone, I knew that would work as far as approval. And because I think before that, for most of my life, not most, but a lot of my life, I was working in the vending business. So I was collecting money in and out of nightclubs and bars. And what was interesting there is how a lot of people didn't necessarily approve, I shouldn't say they didn't approve, but my lifestyle that I lived within that life. Because it wasn't just about collecting money in and out of bars, nightclubs, gentlemen's clubs, and restaurants and stuff. It was the lifestyle you led when not doing those things, after hours and all those things. What was funny is that I always realized a lot of people that didn't necessarily always approve, they liked being a part of it. So they would be like, listen, man, I don't think this is good for you. And how do you plan to get married? If you get married and have kids, you can't stay in this type of business and all this type of shit. And then they'd be the first ones to go out and party and drink with me. And then kind of, it's kind of funny, that thing. But what I'm here to talk about, too, is as far as people always living their life, wanting others to approve of what they're doing. And I think a lot of us get stuck in this. I think we get stuck from a younger age with our parents, siblings, family members again, and obviously as we move on, like what is everyone else going to approve of? And I'm here to tell you, I think the bottom line, you have to figure out what you're going to approve. Now, I wouldn't recommend certain things, like if you want to get down and dirty and start doing things that are illegal, or things that other people aren't going to really like. Let's just say, for instance, I think we all know what we're talking. I don't have to outline certain things. That's going to be on you. That's just a reality of life. But I will tell you, a lot of times what you start off doing, what a lot of people don't approve of, as time goes on, may actually really approve of. That could go for, like, if you go back to even technology, a lot of times, a lot of people despised it. They hated it. Nobody really, I had a phone. I was a very young age. A lot of people thought that was cool. Besides that, when the internet websites and dating apps or dating, online or all these different types of things, buying things online, nobody trusted it, right? Nobody really approved of it. And then what happened? Now, for the most part, everybody approves of it, right? Even when I was one of the guys who had the first Apple iPhone. And they're like, you got all your information on there. Are you crazy? You lose it. Or, your emails are on there and your bank information. You could go online. They're going to, all these type of things. Now, everybody has an Apple phone or, a certain type of phone like that. So again, my point being with you is if you have a certain thing you want to do in your life, right? And it's tough a lot of times. I'm not going to lie. If you're in a relationship, you got kids, or whatever you have going on, you may want to do something others may not approve of at that point in time. Now, again, if it's going to risk your relationship, that's on you. Or, if the risk is so high, it could be even investing in something that costs a lot of money, or if you lose, it takes your family down, I'd reconsider. There's no question. I do think there's a fine line there. But if there's something that you want to do, and it doesn't, I don't mean even independent, it may be independently, it may be with whoever you're with, it may be whatever the hell it is, I don't know. You may need to do this. Because a lot of times I think people don't do things because they feel like nobody will approve, or, they'll hold themselves back from wanting to go do something that they will resent for the rest of their life. And don't think that shit does not take a toll on you. All right? I'm just telling you. My mother always talks about wanting to be a dancer. That's still her thing, and she never got to go dance. And it takes a toll on her. I'm just using her for an example. I know she listens to my podcast. She's hilarious. But a lot of people out there I know, especially now that I'm in my 50s, the resentment, I should have went to do this. I should have done this. Like, my father's never even been to New York. He's never even been to Europe, to Italy, where his mother and father are from. And he resents that. I know so much, and again, approval doesn't mean you have to do something huge. It could be you just saying, hey, I want to go here to do this, to experience this. I want to go try this. I don't care if you want, maybe you're surrounded by a lot of people that are anti-gun. I don't know, but you feel like you want to go take lessons and you want to carry a gun. Maybe everybody else doesn't approve of that, right? And on the flip side, you may be around a lot of people that carry guns and you don't feel comfortable carrying a gun. And that's not, you're not going to get, they may not approve of that, but it's still your right to probably figure out what you're comfortable doing no matter what. I'm kind of using that as kind of just an idea, but it could be wanting to live somewhere. It could be, starting a different type of career. And again, I'm not here to tell you to go through things that hurt you, but I am telling you to be a little more conscious. Is that the word I should say? A little more aware of why you're doing the things you do as well. Are you doing it because you want only approval from others, or are you doing it because you genuinely want to do it? Because I do think a lot of times we also get lost saying, if I do this, everyone's going to like me. If I do this, whoever, my wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, they're going to be okay with it if I do this. But in the back of your head, you're like, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't who I want to be. How does that work out? Always looking for approval, I think, is almost a paralyzing state of mind. And I've been there. And I've also been on the other end where I tell everyone to F themselves and go do whatever I want to do. For the most part, probably the last 13, 14 years, I've done whatever I want to do. Sometimes too, and I'll just say, if you were, if in certain relationships, or you were in certain situations where you felt, I can't say I always felt like this, but sometimes you feel like you're in a prison and you can't escape it. And a lot of the decisions you made weren't necessarily the right decisions for you. I can't say I was in that situation, some things, but I think a lot of people find themselves after a certain amount of time, like I was saying earlier, not really understanding the impact that they had, that they were constantly looking for approval from others instead of really looking at what they truly want for themselves. So, anyways, if you get a chance, I have a program, Mastering Self-Confidence. You want to check it out. It's just masteringselfconfidence.com. That's to help dudes find the woman or women of their dreams, even if they've been through a bad breakup or divorce. You want to find out any other information, just Google me. I'm all over the joint. All right, take care, and, do what you got to do.